Hello friends, Glage back with another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and this is one of my favorite videos to do during the patch, because I just get to ramble at you all for 8 to 10 minutes while I yank the gotcha lever over and over again like the filthy whale that I am. So, I need to get my copies of Liv and her weapon and her cub. If you've never watched any of my roll videos before, my goal is always the same for these new S-rank characters. I like to take them to triple S with their weapon and their cub, and I also keep a handy-dandy spreadsheet on hand to note my suffering and hits to my wallet, because I don't know, I like torturing myself, I guess, but it's just fun to keep track and see who wants to be nice to me when I summon and who doesn't. So, last few sets, actually, like, basically every pull since Ishmael has been real good, so I expect I'm probably about to eat it on this one and have to go most of the distance, because the game's been way too nice to me lately, and that's just not how the world works, so. But anyway, let's get started. We'll start with the less interesting stuff and go get the cub, because we know that's guaranteed once it pops, so. Hopefully all of y'all's rolls went decently well, and you're getting as many copies of Liv as you feel you need, including the weapon and all that good stuff. This new system is definitely changing the game a little bit. I'm going to do a video on that to start next week to talk about the philo tree system and my thoughts on where it is. Ooh, 2 of them? Okay. Well, we know they're guaranteed, so sick. That works. All right, awesome. Cub at double S. There's a chance I go back and get more copies of this cub just because of how good that final skill is, so but we'll see, and let's get the other stuff done first. Also, thank you very much for all the feedback and views on the new guide. The Limpidity guide is easily the fastest I think I've ever gotten to 3,000 views on a single guide, so I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that, well, we're globally synced now, so, you know, everything comes out at the same time, give or take. That's certainly not hurting my numbers at all. But nonetheless, thank you for watching and all the feedback on it. And I've made a pinned comment on it for those of you who've been like, hey, I've been hearing X memory build is better on Liv if she's this evolution, or I've heard this memory build is better, or you should resonate this instead. And my response to that is there is a good chance all of those things are true, but when we only had a whopping 48 hours to literally test from the ground up and get all our footage recorded and all that stuff, it was going to be real hard to be as thorough as most of us would have wanted to be, myself included. I simply did not have time to test multiple memory builds with the time I had to get everything done. So I'll be doing that as the new stuff comes out. All right, missed the weapon roll. I told you I was going to eat it on this one. I'm not wrong so far, although I think I already have Discord 6-star too, so that's not even like an accidental win. Womp womp. It'd be like that sometimes. I also need to add up here. So that was 5,000 on the cub, and that was... oh, I'll just count it after this. I'll look back at the record. It's just easier. Okay, well, it gave it to me right after, so good enough. That's fine. 1 extra 10 pull for a weapon is hardly the end of the world. So, all right, how many did we do there before we got that? So... let's see. Okay, that was the last one from today. Or did I do 4? Okay, so 1 10 pull, 2 10 pull, 3 10 pull. Okay, so 4 total, so 10k. Easy enough. I can math. If I sound a little groggy and or lower tone than I usually am for my videos, it's because I just basically woke up. I live graveyard life. My wife is an RN and works overnight, so I've been on that graveyard schedule for a very long time, and the middle of the afternoon is when my day starts. And I would be lying to you all if I said my caffeine is kicked in yet, because it definitely has not. But anyway, all right, so we need 4 copies of Liv to polish this one off. That gets me to triple S, with the 5th copy coming from Pain Cage Skulls. So let's take our first trip on the philo tree system and see how long it takes to get things done. I do have some other video ideas I want to do this patch. I'm going to be looking at Luna's Leap here this week and figuring out how all that works, how that changes the Nihil rotation and such. So there will be a guide on that as well. I have a lot planned for this patch that I want to do, hopefully. But one step at a time. Just gotta get everyone built. I gotta get caught up on all my weeklies. I have not done any of my weekly game modes for PGR this week, just because, well, the entire start of it was dedicated to the patch itself and getting the guide out on time. So it'll be nice to have a chance to sit and hopefully get caught up a little bit. And then my hope is that within the next week or two, I can get back to rereading the story so I can work on the lore content. All right, so here's copy number 1. I believe that was directly on Pity. Yep, it was. All right, so that is another 15K. No, not that. Let's see. So that's 25K total. Cool. All right, 1 copy of Live Down, 3 to go. What was I saying? Can you again? I just woke up. Clear. Okay, well, that'll work. So next 10 pull, bam, there it is. Easy, easy. Baby game for babies. Just pull back-to-back copies of the limited character. Obviously, it's just that easy. All right, we take those. We absolutely. Even I don't care if the next 2 go to Pity. That by itself, awesome. Like. Getting the character early is always good, obviously. The less you go to Pity is, what you want. But getting it on the very first 10 pull after hitting Pity is, like, extra sweet. Then you're getting the maximum savings, and that always feels good. So I will happily take that. So 27,500 so far. Just need 2 more of these. I also have some announcements planned that I'll get out in a video, hopefully before the end of the month. We'll see. I'm still working on some things. I have a lot of projects that I am juggling right now, both for YouTube for PGR stuff and over on Twitch for my everyday job, my full-time streaming gig. So I'll have a lot of stuff to share here in the next month or so, but I've got a lot of things cooking in the oven, and I have to wait for some assets and other things that I've commissioned to get done as well. But there will be some updates, and hopefully there'll be updates that people are interested in once I can talk more about that. Also, if you can hear my dog trotting around and shaking her dingly collar everywhere, sorry. I didn't want to shut up the office completely because she's awake, but my wife is not, so she doesn't like not being able to come in and see what I'm doing. So if you follow me on Blue Sky, I occasionally post pictures of my little Chihuahua Reen on there. So if you like doggo pictures, that's probably the one good reason to follow me on social media. I can't think of very many others. I'm just kind of a cranky old man on social media. All right. How many are we into this one? Let's see. Okay, still 4 more till Pity. So maybe we get one slightly early. Also, I forgot to add in my 15K. I couldn't tell if that was orange or red because I didn't watch it pop immediately because I was typing on the calculator. Good observations, me. All right, 2 more to go. We're almost out of here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We found the squeaky. It's over, everybody. Pour one out for the squeaker that is about to meet its untimely demise behind me in the office. That's just better content than I could ever make anyway. Like, I could sit here and ramble at you all, but, I mean, come on. Wouldn't you just rather hear a cute dog squeaker toy? That's way more interesting than my dumb ass. All right, final one all the way to Pity. Add in the final tally here. You know what? That's not bad at all. That's really not bad at all. Hard to complain. Okay. So if my math is right, and it probably isn't because, again, it's early, but as far as I can tell, if my math is correct, we went for a grand total of 57,500, and that is still a 22,500 black card discount on the maximum. So I will take it. Absolutely no complaints there. Anytime I get a discount, it is a good day on the PGR Gotcha. So, all right, I need to go get Liv built and test out some of these other memory builds that are floating about now that I actually have the chance to test a little bit. But in fairness, I'm probably not going to get a lot of concrete info until next week because, well, we don't have a Lightning Warzone. We don't have a Lightning Pain Cage boss. So there's not actually a good way to test right now. So once we have those next week, I will definitely be fiddling around with some other builds, and if I find enough that completely invalidates some of the build parts of the guide, then I'll probably do a quick addendum video and update with other options for Liv. But we'll see how off I was with the suggested build of her signature set in Kadi. It's just looking more and more like maybe the signature set just isn't good as the base elemental shred sets, which has been kind of a running theme of late for various characters, so I won't be surprised if it's wrong. But anyway, appreciate you all watching. Hope your rolls went good. Best of luck if you haven't pulled for Liv yet, or if you're saving up throughout the patch so you can get your pulls done. And yeah, appreciate you all watching. Thank you for all the feedback once again and all the YouTube garbage. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to do it. It's always appreciated, never necessary. But I'm going to go get started on building Liv and catching up on my weekly modes. So y'all take care, be good to each other, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.